pretty much not going to go for a break. We're going to steam on through, and we're going to get this next game underway. I believe it's going to be FAB taking on Team Infused. Team Infused, you know, they finished coming out of regular season. They did finish second. We have to say this. They finished second back in summer. Didn't have the best of finals. They went out to Vibe in a Game 7. They pushed it all the way, all to the very end. But I think we kind of said it kind of just came down to age and experience. They were winning the Slayers. They lost the last Slayer, unfortunately. Now they're going to be going up against Europe's finest, our very own God Squad. This will be a big win for them. And I've got to say, Doodle, talk about throwing this poor guy in the deep end.
Well, I mean, Doodle was on FAB once as well. I know it was a different roster back during the World Championship qualifications at the EMEAs. So there's a little bit of bad blood maybe, but we know these guys. We know they perform well on LAN especially, but FAB and Infused, they matched up already in week 1. FAB won that 3-0, so it's going to be a tall ask, I think, for Infused to win this one. But they did take them to a replay of Fathom CTF last time when that came about. So if we do have that map on show, then perhaps there is a chance for Infused.
So here you have it then, guys. Europe's finest team, your #1 seed and current summer season grand final winners, FAB Esports. Let's take a look at the team sheet and show you guys who makes up this roster. 4 very well dominant names on the board. Respectful, Moz, Jimbo, and 2 Foxy. Quite arguably, 4 of Europe's top 5 players, I think it's fair to say.
Oh yeah, and one of these players has the highest, is most positive, their KD across Europe. Do you want to take a guess who it is?
I want to say who plays here for points, pro points. I'm gonna say Respectful.
Unfortunately, it's actually Moz.
Oh, really?
He's currently plus 63.
Hey, man, that's because I'm the best, man. That's why.
Plus 63. That is insane. That's after 4 games. I mean, this guy's looking disgusting. Respectful plus 38, Jimbo plus 17, and Foxy is just neutral. But Foxy does a lot of work behind the scenes.
That's all right, isn't it? It's not bad.
Have you got him in your pro squad?
I don't think I've done it this season.
What?
Because we never set up a league, did we? We never got around to it.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't do a fantasy of this. I actually feel really bad.
Can
Hopefully Moses
in week 4?
Yeah, he might be able to actually put us up there.
Maybe.
But you know what, let's take a look across the board who's going to be their opponents. This slightly new roster and slightly different to what you saw in the summer season. Batchford, Kimbo, Flux, and Doodle. Doodle returning here. You can see by the shirts on screen. They were teammates for the summer finals and the summer season. Kimbo now is in this roster. He's going to shake things up just a little bit. Obviously, Warlord did exit, and we brought in Kimbo. Kimbo wasn't, I believe, originally on this one. It came down to transfer period when he did become a free agent after he kind of got released, I want to say, from FAB, just an hour away from Rosterlock, and then he found his feet inside in Team Infused. Now, the thing about Kimbo, he will not be wanting to lose many more matches. He's used to winning. He's used to doing good. He's a damn good player. This is a nice little roster. Obviously, this is Doodle's first game on this lineup with Kimbo. Interesting to see how this team matches up against FAB with a totally new lineup. Let's take a look at the best of 5 layout and show you what maps they're going to be playing. Kicking things off is going to be Empire Strongholds game #1, Eden Slayer game #2, Fathom CTF will be map #3, Eden Strongholds and the Rig Slayer will be 4 and 5 if they are needed. So, gents, Empire Strongholds, it's a very fast, it's a very wild, and it can be a very rubber band game type. Do you have any statistics on this one?
I mean, in week 1, FAB beat Infused 100-34 on this game type, so typically you'd favour them, but this is a slightly different Infused roster. Obviously now with Doodle over Havoc, it could completely change the dynamic of team. One player can make a huge difference, and perhaps it's what Infused need to just kind of break this FAB barrier. I mean, FAB have looked absolutely phenomenal, going unbeaten yet again so far in this season. And I mean, if you count how many series they've won in a row, if you include Season 1 as well, that's just a crazy amount. Something like 16 series or something stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. In competitive Halo, that kind of thing is kind of really unheard of. I mean, to win 16 back-to-back like series when everyone's trying to give it their all, that's insane. That's a ridiculous achievement for FAB. So.
I'm right in saying that so far FAB haven't lost a series, have they?
No.
At all. It's just, it's insane. I mean, I can't remember the exact statistic. Wasn't it something like 40-odd maps
48-0 or something, wasn't it?
It was. I think we may have only been about 6 maps. They dropped a couple. They dropped some to Pulse, and then dropped some in the finals. So it may have been 40 to 50 to single-digit figures, which is absolutely insane for a team. Now, the bigger question is, just while we're getting this matchup underway in the background, and I want your guys' opinion on this one, if we sent FAB as it is now to NA and we put them in the North American Pro League, are there any teams in that top 8 that you think they can take down?
Yeah, 100%. I think FAB up there in the top 6 teams in the world right now. They'll continue to grow, and I don't think they're at their best just yet. I think they're going to get a lot better as Jimbo is still kind of moulding in with the team. I mean, it's got there. We can't say that Jimbo looks out of his depth. I mean, he's been playing fantastically alongside that squad, but I still think there's more. I think they know they can get more as well, and I don't think they've quite hit that level that we know they can get to.
I said last week I wanted to wait until FAB played Vibe, and then FAB basically beat Vibe with a game to spare. They beat them 3-1. So now I'm a believer in FAB. Could they go over to America and do damage? Yes, absolutely. I don't think I could pinpoint any names off the top of my head. Maybe like the 7th, 8th kind of place. I think FAB could probably beat easily in the North American Pro League.
Easily?
I don't know about easily.
I think so, easily. Yeah, I think FAB played
6th.
very, very aggressively.
That's right. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say top 6, which is what he's saying essentially.
Which is exactly what
he's
I'm
just
saying.
saying it's going to be easy, which. He's going to get
I
a lot of hate for that one.
Honestly, I don't think the 6th through 8th NA Pro League teams are all that, really. I've watched it, and it's like...
6.
It's okay. You know, they know FAB. I mean, we got Jimbo.
I love how European you are. This is great. I love this patriotism, man. Shout out to you.
This is why I never go to America. I mean, I just kind of shoot myself in the foot, really.
Hey, you've been savage, and that's what we kind of need. It breeds a little bit of life into the Pro League. But
I'm just kidding. American teams are great.
You can't go back now.
What a sellout. There is no total sellout.
I tried.
Please. I honestly, I agree. Fabi are becoming this god squad that Europe kind of needed. But then again, we did say this initially when it was Jimbo and 2Foxy back in summer season. We saw this roster kind of create, and we're like, yeah, this is a god squad that we've been asking for a hell of a long time. Didn't quite work out. We had some team changes from X-Men initially. Obviously, Foxy then jumped shipped away from Jimbo. He's kind of left behind a little bit. We did almost happen, nearly an Epsilon kind of return, and then we just kind of saw it was going to be Cristola in place of Snipedrome. Didn't quite happen. Jimbo's like, nah, you're all right, lads. Yep. It's time to do a runner, so he kind of jumped ship, found himself on this.
Jim was like, I'm going to do me for a little while, okay?
I think the reason why we thought X-Men was going to be this god squad, right? Because, I mean, they had the tried and tested players. They were all veterans on LAN. They'd all performed well in America previously. But we counted out Respectful and Moe's because they hadn't done particularly well on LAN. That's not me being savage, that's me being honest. They hadn't.
Oh, yeah.
And then they proved themselves during summer finals. You saw what it meant to Moe's especially. There's the videos, there's the photographs. I mean, that meant a hell of a lot for him. And they are 2 of the best players in Europe now, without a doubt. And I'll put my hands up. I thought they were terrible at first. Like, they were online warriors to me. I completely agreed with everyone that was saying it, but they have completely turned that around, and now they are the best that there is, and people can look up to what they've done, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, you kind of have to respect it at the end of the day. I still say that what happened to them on that Dignitas lineup at Worlds, I mean, that is by far, for me, the biggest choke that has ever happened in European Halo history. That's the best thing that ever happened to them, because them two just wanted this more than all. They wanted that, the event win. Now we look kind of onwards. I'm still more excited. I think they'll win fall season. I generally do. I think they'll win fall season. They're looking extremely dominant, extremely strong, and just growing day by day. But I'm still excited for when we get to Worlds. I mean, it would be an absolute godsend travesty if they didn't make it there, because they deserve to be there. But that, for me, is the next step that we look for this roster.
Well, you say they absolutely will win the regular season. I mean, if they win this one, they're 5-0, and the next nearest is Vibe, who would be 3-2. So Vibe already with 2 losses on the board and Fab undefeated at 5-0. At that point, it would pretty much be impossible for Vibe to catch them up, considering how good Fab are.
So I am about to get an update in my ears to why this one isn't kicking up next. I've been told that the lobby is still in loading mode, and we will be getting into this one as soon as the Eye in the Sky for Spectre does come live. But while we are waiting, let's have a quick chat about the open circuit. This time, the Unwanted were taken down by MDR2. That was the French men, of course. Solar's boys. They've been kind of going at him for a while now. Finally, they hammered him down, and they did take him down. A quick shout, I believe it's Colt, who has now been picked up by the Unwanted, I want to say. One of the guys from the ANZ who's come across, so it's nice to see him actually playing with them. Could be wrong there. Please excuse me if I am. I do apologise, but I'm 99% sure I am not. But yeah, shout out to MDR2, who did actually take down the Unwanted. And we have some new winners. That's $750 in their back pocket. guys, if the money's there, you know, the competition's there, the whole bracket's there. If you want to jump in Saturday and Sunday for transfer, if you get in that top 4, then you're going to transfer to Sunday. You don't have to play on the Saturday. The Saturday is completely open to anybody. Doesn't matter if you're an AM, if you're practicing, if you're there for the first time, whatever. Jump in, sign up. It's open to the entire of Europe. Honestly, it's just nice. Even if you're not winning, just to at least compete and get some practice. People want to jump into this scene. And who knows? You could be here. You could be playing for a spot in the Pro League. 2 people from that Open Circuit Finals, when we go to it, the top 2 teams will be advancing to relegation. They then play the 2 bottom teams, which we're going to be finding out over the next week or 2. We'll find out who that's more than likely going to be. I think we're kind of set on the desk. I mean, that win for Pulse has kind of messed it up a little bit, but I think we're still into the process that it will be the same 2 teams of Prophecy and Pulse. Who knows? Anything is possible. But if you want to be here, if you want to be trying to do the same thing and take those 2 teams down and find yourself a spot in the Pro League, the Open Circuit is the way to go. Guys, the Eye in the Sky is live. This game is locked and loaded. It's going to be Empire Strongholds. Let's see who can grab the saw and do some serious damage and start ripping through the Spartan faces. Who are we going to be kicking things off with, Harry? You're the man who controls this. Who do you want to see off the start? Any particular person?
You know what? Let's start with Jimbo, I think. We've been bigging him up a little bit. I said, you know what? We've got Jimbo. So let's start with Jimbo. I want to see what he can do. Obviously, Strongholds and Empire, very sporadic game type, all about rotations, controlling that saw. And let's see if Jimbo and the crew can do it, starting off with this one.
All right, then we'll find his POV. There it's going to be FAB HCS Jimbo kicking things off. He's got a couple of shots on there, got some hit markers, but you know what? They're actually going to try and dive on this one. So Infused going for an early pit grab. Badford gets pushed back by 2 of them. And I think that's going to be the storyline. This is what happened before. We saw this with Vibe. You'll see 1 plot 3 members just dive bomb into it. You've got no chance. They're now pushing on in across to the blue side. They're going to try and advance into this triple cap. There's already someone in there, but look at the pit. The pit's it's in a dangerous position. Kimbo's crouching down. 2 members are there. 1 beatdown comes in. Doodle says no. Mo's answers back. And honestly, they can just keep being a nuisance on this blue area.
Now, how often do you see the first team that gets that pit will go on to win the game? Just because you have so much map control and it forces the other team to have to make a decision. Do we go for blue and red? Do we go for blue and then rotate to red? Do we go down for the pit? And it makes it so difficult, especially when you have so much map control and you can really control spawns. You can just split teams apart and you can pincer them and just jump in on them. And we saw it last week, actually, with FAB on this game type. They were absolutely dominant. And you would see they would control this middle of the map, and as soon as they knew spawns were coming up, at least 3 members would just push into red or blue, and they would take down several of their opposition.
I can't count how many people have just dropped, just kind of scrapping around for this pit area right now. Moses there as well, he's no shield. And let's see, Flux, who will get pushed back, still 20 points to 0 in the bag. FAB somehow managing to stay a hold of pit and just stay alive. Now we'll see 2 players dropping straight down into blue base. That's going to be Respectful and Fox here. Kimbo's going to push into red, but he needs to be aware there is someone hanging out by the OS. It's going to be Jim. Jim wants him dead. His player's going to be behind him, so Jim will force him out. His teammate will clean him up. Triple cap in effect. I think this is going to be all she wrote this game down. Honestly, I mean, quick shout out as well to Moz with the CLG skins, because those things are now a family heirloom.
Oh, those things are just brilliant. So it's great to see these players using them. But I mean, this is the thing for FAB. As soon as they get a sniff, even a whiff of someone on their radar, 3 of them just swarm in, and they're not allowing Infused to get any sort of points on the board. Okay, so Flux now starting to take this stronghold. Just look out for how quickly FAB will respond to that, and you'll just see that their map movement is because as soon as they hear, oh, someone's taking our strongholds, it just completely changes any direction that they're pushing in.
Great, absolutely fantastic job there out of Flux. Nice. Not only to out assault rifle to Foxy, then grab the overshield, then also perfect Jimbo. Great job there out of Flux. And what's very interesting about the scoreline compared to the kills in the kill feed, honestly, really not that different. Look at the kills across the board, pretty much even, but look at the score, 49-8. Yes, Infused now have total control, and they're starting to get points on the board, and with that comes the kills. So maybe Infused can get back in this one thanks to the overshield, and huge plays here out of Flux. Yeah, that's massive to get that kill. They really need to stop it. Andy bags himself the saw. Fair enough, there's only about a quarter of the ammunition in the case, so
at least a guaranteed 1.5 kills. They can knock someone else's shield off with that one. They're going to throw a grenade into pit, try and tag some people up and just feel anybody out. Respectful comes around the corner though on the sneaky. Ground pound's been teed up by Kimbo. He'll just use that to pause and then thrust back. Actually, Batchford, excuse me. Killing spree from Flux though. He's going to try and use the last ammunition in this saw. One player steaming round, tees it up but doesn't quite find it. Mose will thrust out of the way. 3 players now steamboating down into that pit area. They want the transfer. Yeah,
credit to Infused. They look pretty much down and out, but they were patient about it. They waited for that overshield to come up, and by getting that overshield, it allowed them to take the pit once again. The pit obviously being one of the most pivotal points on this map because it is so difficult to take back. You really do need to get 3 or 4 down if you are going to push and get that pit control. As you now see, several members of FAB are just trying to fight out Infused because they know Infused are desperate to take this pit, but Kimbo also goes down, and that should be map control for FAB. If FAB can keep this map control for when the next overshield comes up, it could be all she wrote for Infused.
Yeah, it's exceptionally important, especially when you saw what Flux did with it. He was getting perfects left, right, and center, and he managed to kind of, not single-handedly, it's a whole team, but when you've got that OS, you can at least advance and kind of put him as the leader of the pack and really just snowplow your way through, and your teammates will follow, they'll back you up. They got the triple cap essentially off of that OS, so they'll be looking to try and get it again and do the same amount of work. Batchy's just going to go drop into pit. He's going to be a nuisance here. Flux is above his head. He tags one. And look at this. This is turning around. Jimbo's going to try and get the stop. They don't. And now it's a 2-cap once again for Team Infused.
That was actually a really smart piece of play there out of Batchford. He said, you know what? The overshield's coming up. The saw's up as well. While everyone's fighting for this, let me just jump in the pit. He pretty much got it free of charge. We saw Jimbo there try and contest it. I just love the movement there out of Batchford. Great stuff out of him.
Yeah, not only did he managed to get pit, but he distracted the rest of FAB, so they didn't get the overshield, and it meant that Flux was able to get it once again. And now we see Infused getting themselves back into this game. That's 2 overshields, but they need to push on now. They need to keep this map control, go for this triple cap, and try and get FAB on the back foot.
Kimbo will dive across. They'll get the triple. However, on the opposing side, it's going to be FAB who try and answer back. Red base is being taken. They're probably just going to let them get it because if they go in single-handedly, they will drop like flies. 2 members in there. You're going to see Mose taken down by Doodle. Flux gets answered back by Foxy across the map up in tower, and you just see on the outskirts there it's going to be Jimbo. He gets the initial shot off on Kimbo. They both back down. J versus K. And I think it's fair to say here, gents, Kimbo will want some revenge on this team.
Oh, of course he will. I mean, if you are new, Kimbo used to be a part of this FAB roster, and he did get released as such. I don't want to say the word dropped, but, he got dropped. And it's going to be unfortunate for him. He's going to want to make a statement and say, look, you shouldn't be making that decision. I want to make a kind of impact on this game, but now FAB are back in the lead. They've got the control, and it just seems like even though Infused are getting this overshield and they're getting a little bit of control, FAB are always fighting back, Sims.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out as well, the MVP of the barrel, 3 kills now I've seen in the kill free from the barrel.
Yeah.
Always does some work on this. He's a good little guy.
No, he's always going to turn up on the map.
Yeah, mate, he's always there to help. You want to kill him? I'll kill him. Just shoot me, mate, and we'll take him out together. Down goes one. Respectful's there, bouncing the grenades off the floor, looking for Batchford, who actually gives him a jawline. You can see it in the kill feed. He takes down Respectful, so they should be able to take that down from the opposing side. Quick look at the kill feed, Harry. What are you seeing, brother?
15 and 14 out of Mose and Respectful, so highest on their team, but it's actually Flux who made the big plays earlier on in the game. He's the top slayer in the game right now, so when we can, I'm going to try and jump back over to Flux's point of view and see what he's doing right in this game.
You can see that Infused, they're just edging outside here because they know that overshield is coming up once again. It's been their key back into the game twice now. It should be popping any second, and that's why Kimbo is just hovering here. But it does look like there are a couple of members of FAB that are well aware of it coming up this time, and it does get burnt. Good work from FAB. That probably will secure them the game here.
Jimmy comes in as the Terminator, crouches down at the end. It doesn't help him out. Respectful will walk around the corner with the saw in hand. We're taking a look on the third-person mode. You can just see a nice little bit of a couple of body shots here and there, and a quick backwhack to the back of the skull. 49 to 100, just over double the scoreline here for FAB. But I'm going to say this. There were signs of greatness coming out of Infused, We saw the triple cap at the start, but they just couldn't quite keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, there were signs of greatness at the end. I think Dan called it perfectly. Infused, they were overextending a little bit too much for that overshield, and FAB said, you know what, if you're going to try and contest the overshield, that's absolutely fine. We're just going to get the points to end the game. That's exactly what happened. Flux, the man who was making the big plays, actually top slayer in the game despite his team losing the map. Kimbo with only 5 kills going up against his old team. That's certainly not good enough, but Mose and Respectful, the big guns on FAB, doing the work for them. They take home the W.
And one thing I want to ask you here, Dan, it's quite hard. It's a hard question, but I'm going to put it out there. Do you think he's only got 5 kills? One, because he's a little bit concerned that he's going up his teammates? Or do you think his old teammates are singling him out every single time? Or is it hard to say on a map like Empire?
I mean, it is a tough question to ask. I don't think that Kimbo is the type of player that would be mentally affected because he is so strong with his mental game. Maybe his ex-teammates would focus on him, just trying to send a message, but I just think Infused were kind of sucked into this place where they had no map control, which didn't allow Kimbo to do Kimbo things, as it were. Flux was able to do those kind of things because he was the flanker. He's the guy that gets around behind. He was the one who was picking up that overshield, whereas Kimbo is one of those players that does everything. He was putting shots on everyone, so his kills might not suggest he was doing well, but he probably got a fair few amount of assists, and he was probably doing very important work jumping in those strongholds.
I don't think we ever highlight Flux enough. The stuff that he did throughout not only the summer season, but summer finals, he was a bit of a god amongst men on that Team Infused roster, and it's kind of been the same so far.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, last week, I think, was when he really started to catch my eye. Well, Flux is kind of one of those players where you say, oh yeah, he's on Infused, he's in the Pro League, and then you just kind of leave it at that. You think about Batch and his incredible shots that he hits, and then you think about, you know, the players around him. But Flux is one of those players this season, certainly, who has really stepped up for his team. I mean, we saw it in the last game. He got the power up, he was making the big plays for his team, trying to get his team to win the game, putting up big numbers on the scoreboard as well, but unfortunately it wasn't enough in the end. But Flux, certainly a standout player for Infused, and I want to see more of him going forward.
It's because it's those starting strats from Flux, and he always gets those in those important 1v1s, and he wins them. He isn't affected by the situation, even though he knows if he dies, he's probably going to lose an overshield, maybe lose some rockets. He's always in that situation. He puts that himself in that situation to make sure that he can make those plays for his team.
All right then, guys. Game number 2 is live. We are locked. We are loaded. You know what, Harry? A nice POV to kick things off. It's going to be Flux's as he works his way around to this rocket yard. Mose is going to take the brunt of a grenade, I believe. No, he will not. He actually does. I tell a lie. So he's going to get clipped by that one. The rockets will fall into the hands, unfortunately, of 2 Foxy.
Yeah, and Foxy is another one of these players that will put himself in a situation to make sure that he can get those power-ups, he can help his team, and he's not going to be scared to take those 1v1s either. He's not able to pick up a kill with those rockets just yet, though, and he needs to be careful he doesn't overextend here as Doodle gets the back smack and was nearly rewarded with rockets, but unfortunately for him, Mose was there to save the day.
Oh, Kimbo's going to be chasing. He's going to get caught off guard from the left-hand side. Will pick up the sniper rifle, so what a kind of... Oh, he tags 1. There's 2. So at least he's got the kill there, so they can now advance round. He needs a little bit of help. The grenade comes in. The firework finds its target. But look at this sneaky beaver. Batra just sitting on the corner, baiting one in. There's one. Doesn't even need to fire the shot whatsoever. He's going to chase this one down. Doesn't land it. Respectful says, not today, my friend. Take an AR to the jawline. Foxy comes as well on the kill feed. 3 members down now for Team Infused. So far, this has been 3 down for each side opposing one. And look at the scoreline. It's neck and neck. I'm getting quite excited. We're only early days into the game here, but it's really back and forth and a good old fight for this blue area.
Yeah, it's a little bit messy, and I say it a lot. I use the word messy a lot, and it's because it is back and forth, and there is no real control. And I think that does favour Infused. I think a messy game type is always going to help a team like Infused, a team that is fantastic at Slayers. I don't know if you remember, during finals last season, Infused won, I think, the majority of their Slayers, but lost pretty much all of their objectives. They are very much a Slayer-based team.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I can remember back to that series at finals, Infused versus Vibe, and again, it's Flux going off right here. He's really helping his team out this series. He's certainly turned up against FAB. But I was going to say, the series they played against Vibe, that kind of losers bracket semi-final at finals, they won every single Slayer in that series, I'm pretty sure. So a fantastic job out of Infused. This is kind of controlled chaos, and it certainly plays in their favour.
Look at him go, kicking ass and taking names. 14-12 is the scoreline. Flux is on fire. Rockets in hand. Unfortunately, will get taken down. I thought he'd hit the wall there, but he didn't. It's actually going to be too Foxy. He'll shut down that spree, bag himself the rockets, and now they can make an advancement and really put the pressure back on them. He's got 4 in the barrel. I always say this. It's 4 easy kills. You've got to find every single target, unfortunately. And we have seen failures back before in the Pro League, and every single time. Couple of shots coming in though. Ground pound stayed up. It's going to be Kimbo. He drops that one down. He's still not dead. What the hell is going on? He gets some support from him. And you know what? He actually just got away with murder. He should have been dead, Harry.
Yeah, certainly. But the important thing is he still has these rockets in his back pocket, and they also still have that 1-kill lead. Infused did such a great job of just kind of controlled chaos, we called it. But at the moment, they kind of let that lead slip, and 2 Foxy still has 2 rockets to play with. So realistically, that should be 2 guaranteed kills, but can't quite finish off the kill on that one. Let's see if he can make this last rocket count. He will actually clean up Doodle there with the grenade, but the last rocket isn't even fired, so that will still be in play. A lot of chaos going on right here, but it seems to be FAB coming out on top in these engagements. And Mose, I think it was, who actually picked up that last rocket. It most certainly was.
And look at this, Harry. All of a sudden, it just comes down to power weapon control. We were all tied up, and now we're down. It's really gone into the hands of FAB, and this is kind of the road that they were looking for. Just get a little bit of, you know, map control. They've now all rotated to blue. And honestly, they can just wait. But Infused, no. They absolutely know you cannot feed this lion, because this lion, if you feed it, it'll just happily kind of eat whatever you put on the plate, so to speak. Doodle's there. He'll get tagged by the shotgun. Mo's going to let... Oh, no, he actually jumps down by mistake. He advanced a little bit too far. Kimbo takes the free kill. That's exactly what it is when you're going to kind of push back a little bit too much. 1, 2, 3. 3 members go down. It's actually going to be 2 members down on the opposing side. And now, all of a sudden, Infused make a fantastic push. They find themselves the sniper rifle. They find themselves, if they want it, in control of blue. Look at where FAB are, though, Harry. They're all condensed into one area.
Yeah, and Kimbo actually has this sniper as well, so that could be absolutely huge for them. I mean, they're only down by 2, and he has a lot of ammo here to play with as well. 8 minutes on the clock. The rocket launcher has just come up. Not quite sure entirely who picked that one up. It might have even been Doodle in the end, but he will go down, and as long as Kimbo has this sniper, Infused certainly have a shot at this game.
I like how he's been patient, but he misses the first shot. If Foxy turns on him, that's going to be kind of really unfortunate and also quite embarrassing. He's really put the pressure on, and he's forced to rotate behind himself. 2 members will come and give him some support. They do have a 5-kill deficit turned into 4 by that shot there. We're going to see 1 creeping outside the window. He will look to tag up to Foxy. Foxy gets away with his life. Another trade happens down in the control area, and now we're going to see Kimbo looking to do some work with the sniper rifle. We know he can do it, though. He has been a god amongst men in the sniper rifle in the past, and honestly, he needs to turn up. This is all on Kimbo's shoulders. He's got that weapon. Let's see what he can do. But now we can kind of see, as we look at Kimbo's POV, he's just looking down and seeing what we can do. But yeah, I mean, Harry, what's the play here? It's really, really close. What's the play?
It's actually very interesting, the fact that Kimbo's playing this so aggressively with the sniper. He's trying to get as many sightlines as he possibly can. I think that was actually some Hydra action coming out of Mose there as well, so that's actually really interesting. But to answer your question, Sims, I think Kimbo's doing the right thing here. I think he's got to be kind of unorthodox. He's got to let Batchford and Flux with these rifles be aggressive, put damage down, and try and make some easy shots and opportunities for Kimbo, because he still has 3 bullets to work with. If his teammates can make some players weak, surely that should be 3 guaranteed kills as long as Kimbo can hit the shots. Yeah,
only 2 down. It's a very, very close deficit. They can quite easily close the gap, because that's kind of what these kind of players are at the end of the day. He used to play with FAB and lands the second one. Now we are killing spree. This is the Kimbo that we know and love.
And this is the kind of player that you want having the sniper rifle in your hands, but it has run out of ammo, so now he's going to kind of move on, try and support with his teammates, but this is a really tight game, and it's going to go right down to the wire. Credit to Infused taking it to the current champions.
Yeah, apologies about that one. We had a little bit of a microphone technical. Welcome back, Daniel. It's good to have you back on the team.
Anything that can happen or will happen.
Yeah, this stream has been fantastic so far. But you know what? We've got games going on, so we'll keep focusing on the action. 32 to 33. Dan, you've kind of just been sat back and spectating, so to speak. What needs to happen here? Personally, I think it kind of relies on this sniper rifle. At the moment, they do have rockets in hand, so at least they'll get a nice trade off there. Batch does go down for respectful, but he takes Jimbo with him. This, for me, could be the turning point. But actually, rockets on one team, sniper on the other.
Yeah, but he is out of rockets now. I think what's going to happen is Infused have just got to kind of keep doing what they're doing and make FAB work, because at the moment they've been keeping FAB on the back foot, and Jimbo actually choosing to jump off the map there so that it means Infused don't get that sniper ammo, but a 4-kill advantage for Infused. And what momentum this would be to take 1 map off the reigning champions.
Absolutely fantastic awareness there out of Jimbo. We saw in the kill feed 3 of his teammates went down, and he said, you know what, I'm going to die here no matter what. There's 4 Infused players hunting me. I'm just going to thrust this sniper off the map, get it out of play. Yes, we're down by 5 right now, but at least they don't have a sniper to play with to extend that margin.
It's something, actually, that you kind of see more from Halo 2 and Halo 3 days. We don't see it as much these days. You know, time and time again, you get caught off guard at lockout. out. You just go dive bombing off of that BR3 area. If someone pushing on you, don't give him the sniper rifle. Kimbo with a massive double kill, lines it up into a triple kill. He's searching for the over. They're not going to be spawning next to him. But you know what? It doesn't matter whatsoever because he can just wait for more people to come steamboating in. Can he get that kill up before he goes down? There's the killing spree. Did try to go for the double, but you know what? That's enough work done from that boy. That is 4 kills in about 4 seconds.
Well, you said, was it going to affect his gameplay? And yeah, it's affected his gameplay, perhaps for the better. He's being a little bit more aggressive. He really wants to get a point on the board against these guys. He wants to show that they are not pushovers. We know Infused, they can be extremely good in these Slayers. And only 5 more kills needed for them now. So this is a worrying sight for FAB. And they perhaps need to get hold of these rockets if they are going to win this game.
He's drilling them. He's literally just drilling them to the point of no return right now. Those rockets are a big play for them. This is make or break here for FAB. If they want to seal the deal with this map, they need to make every single one of these rockets count. That will take them to at least 44 kills. 1 behind Infused now. 5 kill lead. Everything's still on the line. 3:38 on the clock. Still plenty of time, but honestly, Infused at the moment, different team.
I think an important thing is Sims as well. Not only making sure 2Foxy hits these 4 rockets, but making sure he has someone with him, alongside him, because people are going to overextend to try and take out 2Foxy. Because he has this power weapon in his possession, he's a big scalp to take. So make sure you get Infused, overextending, pick off the overextenders, and make sure these rockets land.
And this could, that's a nice thrust there to stay alive. Look at that, Harry. He kind of did exactly what you mentioned. Fair enough, he fired 1 rocket, 1 goes in, he does find a target there, so that's 2 kills, 2 rockets. Can he land himself? Another one still just creeping back and forth on this little stairwell, looking up at the rockets, using it as bait. But is any fish going to take that one? Because if they do, that is a nasty trap waiting for him.
Timing!
Just as you look away, how often does that happen? You see it so much, you're holding the angle for so long, and you don't get to punish them in the end. Doodle does pick up the sniper, but only a 2-kill lead now.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's rockets out for Foxy. And FAB are starting to get back into this. They've slowed the game down. They've forced it, the hand of Infused to say, look, you either come at us or you sit back and allow us to just pick off any stragglers. Only 2 more kills needed now for Infused.
You know what's really interesting? Doodle, the new man on Infused, returning to the Pro League. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Pro League. And Infused will take a map off of an incredibly undefeated so far this season FAB squad.
Oh my lord. Let's have a look at the kill feed there. I think it was actually Kimbo putting on a show. 20-10, my friend. That's what you do to your old teammates if you want to really set a stance. 8-14 coming out of batch. Not the best scoreline. But you know what? The confidence now is going to be well and truly in their favor. Team Infused taking just 1 map off of FAB. Honestly, don't mean to put them down here. Did not expect that.
No, certainly not. And I mean, this really was just a Kimbo show. I mean, look at the stats. 20 and 10 is the standout statistic. I mean, on FAB, it was pretty much even across the board. And FAB actually had their fair share of power weapons as well. We see 2Foxy again here. He had 4 rockets right there. Mo's had the shotgun, but it still just was not enough for FAB to take home the win. So a fantastic job out of Infused there. Despite FAB getting so many opportunities to extend leads, they kept it close. And in the end, they came out with a 2-kill lead.
FAB also nearly did perfectly at the end there. They had a 5-kill deficit and it came back and they said, look, we're going to slow this one down a little bit. We'll allow Infused to come at us. Infused did come at them, and unfortunately for FAB, they just couldn't get those kills, and it was those rockets, as you said. He was just looking at sniper rifle for so long, and just as he turned away, Doodle does come and pick it up.
I mean, the one thing I actually I'm not necessarily calling him out because anything's hindsight here. However, and I actually interrupted you while you were saying it. When 2Foxy was in sneak here, he fired a rocket up at Doodle. Doodle took the pop shot, he got one off of him. But when Doodle had actually fallen out of the window, Foxy fired a second one. You heard it in the back.
Yeah.
That was at no target. Doodle was gone. He was out of there. He thrust it out. Why waste that second rocket?
It's a very questionable play, especially when you look at how close the scoreline was in the end. I mean, I'm sure 2Foxy will be ruining that one. Clearly, he thought he had the confidence to hit the shot. Maybe he thought that Doodle was completely absolute no shield. So maybe he had an idea that the splash damage might do something, but it's a very low percentage rocket you're shooting right there, my friend. So maybe Perry will be regretting that one, but they're still in this series. It's tied up 1-1. He has time to make amends, but if they go on to lose this series, that rocket could come back to haunt him.
Honestly, it's wild, especially when you've got Infused taking maps off of FAB at the end of the day.
Well, we say that,
anything can happen.
But technically, this is from regular season last season, the top 2 teams.
Yeah. essentially. Didn't end that after summer finals, unfortunately, but hey, who knows? And you know what? Now you've put that into perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
Warlord out for Kimbo. In theory, it's just like a massive. No offense, Stuart, Graham, we love you a bit, but
some offense. Some offense.
On paper, you've taken. Oh God, you called this perfectly, actually. The second place team coming out of it and going out of regular play and giving them Kimbo. It is a big jolt, and honestly, to say Doodle's, they've done that with Doodle, and this is his first time essentially kind of playing with them in Pro League.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I mean?
He played with them as a he played with them as a sub when they beat Prophecy in that reverse sweep in that 3-2.
Yes, my bad. My bad.
But I mean, that's a result in itself. So whilst they've had Doodle, they've been getting these wins, they've been getting those results on the board, and you're quite right. I mean, Kimbo for Warlord is a fantastic inclusion. I mean, Warlord's a great player, but he isn't a champion winner like Kimbo is. Kimbo won the summer season. This guy's phenomenal, and what an addition to have into this Infused roster. Just some absolute experience.
Signing of the season, if you ask me.
I like that.
Warlord out for Kimbo. What a steal.
It's a good.
It might be a bit savage, but come on now. That's a steal.
It's definitely an upgrade. Capture the flag on Fathom is going to be map number 3. I mean, the good thing about this series, we're going to be seeing a map number 4, guys. Remember, tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. Let everyone know what's going on right now. We got these summer season champions, FAB, going up against their arch rivalries and ex-teammate team Infused. It's 1 apiece. Kicking things off with Flux's POV.
So when these guys faced off on Fathom CTF during week 1, it actually ended in a 1-1 score. It was replayed and then FAB won 3-2 against Infused. So all this we're saying about Infused being a Slayer team, they can pull things off in the objective game types as well. Yes, they didn't win that game, but they took it very close, which is going to be something that's playing in the heads of the FAB roster.
Kimbo will get tagged up. Mose will quite easily take that one down. You can see by the little golden arrow next to him, it has a nice assist there. Flux is going to push in hard here on the VAT. He'll stand in the corner and get tagged up. Batchford actually uses the bait and switch, so he's going to put some good shots on 2Foxer here. 2Foxer going to be low on shield. I thought he was going to try and shoot at the floor to at least try and get some damage on him. He's going to back off there. Still full shields. Now he's none whatsoever. Down he goes, so at least tag that one up. Goes toe-to-toe with Flux. I mean, I like the fact that you can actually do this with this gun. You can at least just charge it up and it scares your opponent into moving back.
It definitely does. And when it's in the hands of someone like Foxy, I mean, you're always going to be worried about it because he doesn't miss a shot with it. Great stuff from him. Flux tries to get aggressive as he wants to finish off this kill, but he's going to be worried about that railgun. He won't know it's out of ammo as we do as spectators. So now we have this kind of standoff situation. It's going to be who is going to go for the flag first. And looking at just the kill feed, you'd expect it to be FAB, but at the moment there's no real top-middle control. They're both kind of contesting for it. You'll usually get a push for the flag when someone on your team does have control of top-mid.
The nades are bouncing in, you can hear them in your headphones. And down he goes. They knew where he was because of the hit markers, so 2 people will advance on there. Doodle's going to get his shields back here in the red treehouse. Taking a look, and look at sneaky Brandon. Respectful hiding in the corner there, on his hands and knees, just waiting for anybody to advance. He will poke out there, takes down one. That's going to be Kimbo, and now he jumps back. He instantly disappears off the radar. Falls back once again, but we know that Brandon's map movement is perfect. Unfortunately, doesn't survive this one. This is an interesting push. He just completely YOLO'd that. If Brandon... Oh, no, he actually gets the kill, so Batchford does go down as well. That's going to be a trade. If he would have got that, that would have been massive, because that would have enabled them to at least run it. Coming straight off the respawn, Respectful goes, takes top middle control, shuts that one down, and all of a sudden, what could have been a possible pull, he's just resulted to nothing.
I think it was the right idea actually there from Doodle. I mean, we spoke about it like the last couple of weeks. How Fathom Capture the Flag has kind of evolved as a game type. Teams now starting to elect to run it more direct, like underneath the tree houses. I think that's what Doodle wanted to do. He said, hey guys, I've got a kill, I've got a couple of kills here and there. Maybe we should start running this flag a bit more direct, but unfortunately his team weren't quite in a position to help him out. It was the right idea, but unfortunately the wrong execution there from Infused.
Now I've got a really interesting fact for you actually. Batchford has the most flags returned currently in the Pro League. So when you have a player like that on your team, someone who is going to fight for that flag, make sure you get it back to base. It's always going to be helpful. And surprising, considering Batchford is such an impressive slayer, you wouldn't necessarily expect him to be in those kind of objective positions.
I mean, he could always say that he just leaves his team to die and then he just mops up afterwards, but that's just me being nasty to Batch. But no, like you say, it's objective efficiency and not being too bothered about the kills. Jimbo here, railgun in hand, and also a flag run. It's going to be a stealth cap unless anybody tags him up. It's going to be a free one. We will see one player just kind of tapping away. Oh, he definitely didn't mean to clamber there, and Pokey said out he meant to just avoid it out of the way. I could be wrong, but I didn't really see any advancement, and one beatdown will come in. Pokey takes out one, possibly looking to take out another one, but look at all these 3 members.
Wow.
Jimbo's actually going to get lit up as Doodle plants one in his face. Flag is bouncing away. One player advances forward just to give the Flag some cover. It's in, ducking and diving on your knees, and there we have it, 1-0 up for Infused.
That has to be one of the most unorthodox flag runs I think I've ever seen. I mean, they've run it like through the silo and underneath the opposition's treehouse. That's pretty crazy right there. It's not often we see that, so a great kind of on-the-fly adjustment there from Infused to make that flag run work.
I think that's important. Be unorthodox to try and catch this FAB roster off guard because they're so well practiced. They are so well oiled that if you can kind of ruin the machine that is FAB, then you have got a chance of taking a game here.
Oh, he's getting drilled though. He will poke out because he's got some defense. One person comes in. Railgun's going to get popped up as well. But now, you know, Foxy's just going to be screaming, leave it, leave it, leave it. I'll grab it off the respawn. That's exactly what he's done. Thrust that one in. Takes out a player as well in doing so. And now he's going to grenade bottom mid. That's going to take out Batchford. Here comes the advancement. Steaming in. Snatches the railgun out of his hand. And once again, we're all drawn up. It's one apiece.
Yeah, and both squads are doing well pushing forward, actually. There's been no real control out of either side. You can see now. FAB just got this capture, but they're on the back foot. They've allowed Infused to get map control. As you see, Kimbo is top mid, but he is going to be challenged by Respectful, who's pushing him.
Still alive.
Another flagpole that just kind of feels like it was a little bit random for Infused there.
Oh, you say that though, but it did get Kimbo off of top middle, and top middle at the moment is kind of being contested. I think it's actually Kimbo with the camouflage, so Kimbo was up top. Jimbo pulling that flag actually forced Kimbo to dip down low. Kimbo here will pick up a kill, and a flag is already on the move here from Infused as well, so this could be absolutely huge from them. If they can get the second flag cap on the board, they'll be one away from taking this game.
And now he's in a fantastic position because he can go on the defensive. One player drops down, turns around, gives Foxy and absolutely lights him up with a railgun. They'll get the return on that. They're still keeping it alive though. It's going to be Flux. He can just keep going, and look at this. They're being a meat shield. Yeah. Just all bumping and jumping together. One goes down, 2-1. Infused well and truly still in the driving seat of this game.
Dare I say, if they go 2-1 up in this series, what a scary thought that would be for FAB. Perhaps dropping a series. That would be crazy. But we won't get too excited yet. There is still plenty of time to work for this FAB roster, but Infused are looking hot. They're pushing together well. They're pulling flags at the right times, and at the moment, FAB are just looking on the back foot.
Yeah, certainly not the same team. Did he just do that? Batchy, please. He's also going to, you know, he's going to get at least block the gen spawn from where he was, so he can run that. No one's going to be spawning there. And in doing so, he can call to his teammates, tell them exactly where they're going to be spawning. If they can kill them and keep them on this, then they're going to bag this one. Somebody needs to shut down top middle now. It's going to be Respectful. He gets pushed back. Batchford no shield. Grenade goes in. He's still somehow alive. He's going to touch it again. They're going to put this one in. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, 3-1 is the score. Team Infused again, stealing another round away from FAB E. What the hell is going on?
Havoc was the problem.
That's harsh.
Harsh but fair, I think, at this point in time. Ryan Batchford, 14 kills, most in the game.
My
2
boy.
flag caps, most in the game. He was doing work that game, certainly. Got to give a massive shout out as well to Flux. He was making some very unorthodox things happen, as well as Kimbo there with the camouflage. And you know what? Let's shout out Doodle as well. All the Infused guys just going off that game.
What were you saying about the flag efficiency?
Yeah, he's just been putting himself in those situations to make sure he gets those flag returns, gets those flag pulls, gets those flag captures. They're the big ones. They're the ones that matter. And wow, Infused are 2-1 up against FAB. FAB are 1 game away, possibly, from losing the first series in about 16 series since the start of Season 1.
This would be the first ever. If they lose this, I mean, don't count your chickens before the hatch. Excuse me, if they lose this, this is the first ever series in regular play they will have ever lost. And they'll have lost it to Batchford. Feels bad, man. Batchford, take my energy in the chat, please. Everybody, spam it, spam it, spam it.
That right there was just so perfect out of Batchford. I was so happy with what he did. Rather than focus on firing the player who was trying to shut down the flag runner, he said, you know what? My flag guy's probably going to die anyway. I mean, he's going to kill the flag guy faster than I can kill the guy killing the flag guy. So meet shield, boys.
They all
Let's
just
do it. Let's
tucked
just
in, didn't
sprint.
they?
You
They
get
all
that
just
flag
ran.
as far as you can, I'll cap it off. Don't worry. So
I love it.
And I think it was Flux actually who was running that flag in the first place. So Flux not getting the flag cap. He didn't actually get any flag caps on the board in the end, but he was really doing the work for his team as well. So got to give a massive shout out once again to Flux.
Well, I said before, Fathom CTF, perhaps that was a chance for these guys. They took it awfully close last time, and it just looks like moving forward they've got even better. And I know Harry was a bit savage saying Havoc's the problem, but I mean, the addition of Doodle has kind of changed this team a little bit. They do look stronger. I'm sorry,
like the old roster.
And the statistics don't lie. Havoc was -44 across Pro League, right? That's not fantastic, but I know he does a lot of work in the back end. But if you can bring in someone like Doodle, who went positive during the games against Prophecy, that is going to help. The kills do matter, regardless of the fact of what you're doing in the behind the scenes.
All right then, guys, lock and load. I'm being told in the back this isn't actually the correct map intro. We're actually going to be moving into a stronghold on the rig. So here we go, kicking things off with Foxy. First railgun is in hand, looking straight down the corridor, finding anybody who's there. We're actually going to see Doodle. Ooh, he just plays the Matrix game and misses that bullet. And look at this collapse coming in. Oh, Jimbo taking a few shots in the back, unfortunately, from Foxy, but he can still be the savior. There's 2 members downstairs of Team Infused. There's one. He can quite easily find the second. He's got some support as well from down below, diving in, trying to get the hit markers off the floor. Doesn't quite land it. But that is an incredible push there from Infused. And as if he just tagged his legs from there.
Yeah, it did really well. Important as well, because you saw that the Infused players were just running over to Nest. As now you see there is a little cheeky Jimbo just taking that Nest. And we say it time and time again. If you can control that Nest, the likelihood is you are going to win the game, because it is the most important stronghold. I like what FAB did at the start of the game. They were very patient for their push. They got basement first. Once they had that secured, that's when they went for Nest.
That's a pretty nasty nade. He was in a good position, especially when you're going to try and utilize camo to try and do some serious damage. Flux, though, found on the back foot. He's going nowhere. They collapse in and box him in. We're going to see Kimbo trying to take Nest over here on his own. They're going to shut that one down and say, not today, my friend. They'll get the quite easy reset. But look at this. They're just dive bombing into it. It's an interesting play coming out of Batchford. Clearly, he was told to do so, because a man of his characteristic would not do this unless he meant to. But unfortunately, no one's over there on the rail side, so at least they're going to get the old carbine spawn and just dive bomb into it, and once again they'll shut down that push.
Does look like Infused struggling a little bit at the start of this game. They haven't quite found their feet. Perhaps they're still a little bit excited from their win last game. They maybe need to calm down, get a little bit of composure and start pushing together.
Yeah, the saving grace for them is the fact that FAB haven't really kind of pushed towards that BR base yet. They're not really going for the stranglehold. They're not going for the juggler in this game just yet. They had a few pushes, you know, trying to push that Nest. It was kind of stilted pushes if you think about it too. Foxy, they're getting lost in the rush. That's kind of a bit unorthodox. But the saving grace for Infuse is the fact that they don't have a point on the board, but they're only 30 points down despite pushing the Nest over and over and failing every single time.
Can we just highlight how important a big of a kill that was from Flux in the kill feed with a shotgun? He took down Respectful as he was about 10% away from capping that basement. Now we've got a 2 cap. Now we've got points going on the board. Can they push the triple? Can they really apply the pressure here to FAB? Because that's all they need to do. They are this round away from losing the series. If they just keep applying pressure over and over again, Flux with a double killing spree as well. The stronghold recover medal pops in. He's getting a couple of shots, but you know what? He's going to stay alive. Moses out there on the stairwell as well. He's diving in just to check out BR base to make sure that does not get recouped. The person below him is crouching down. There's going to be Jim, who's going to get a shotgun to the back. He won't be able to survive that. Most coming in with the ground pound, but it was a ground pound stall. Kimbo cleans him up. Now it's a one-on-one. Kimbo gets a second one. Doodle in with the assist. This is great defense. This is awesome play. Triple cap as well, Dan.
Yeah, there's been a triple cap for a while as well. And I said during Fathom, you've got to take FAB out of their comfort zone. And putting them behind on the back foot in a triple cap in a situation they're not really used to. They're not used to losing these guys. They are staring down the possibility of losing their first series ever in Pro League. That's not just this season. That's Season 1 as well. During summer season, they didn't drop an entire series. And Infused are really taking it to them. And that is going to play in the heads of FAB as they still cannot get hold of a stronghold. At the moment, Infused are just cleaning up everything. Important kills coming out of Respectful though. They need to push out of this situation, try and get hold of BR base, and then push towards basement.
It's a firing range, ladies and gentlemen, right now. We've just seen Infused just taking them down one by one. Nothing answering back from FAB. They're all going in individual. I think that's the problem. Every time we see it, it's just one-on-ones, and Infused are quite happily say, bring them on, boys. We'll take you on one-on-one.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely spot on. I mean, FAB just can't seem to group up at the moment. They need to just group up and try and make something happen. At the moment, Respectful's actually trying to take the Nest, I do believe it is, whilst Moses is already worrying about the stronghold they already had. Looks like Fabi is finally going to grab control as they were taking the basement as we were talking. But basement and Nest, you know, it was good for them at the start of the game, but they only got 30 points out of it. If they push the BR base, try and go for the jugular against Infused, then maybe they they can force a game 5.
Yeah, I think that's what FAB have to do. They can't just sit for those 2. They need to go for that total control to really put some points on the board. But you were right, Sims, you said it looks like several members of FAB were pushing on their own, and that is a key sign of frustration. When you are frustrated, you do rush out, you don't wait for your team, and FAB are going to be frustrated, especially in this situation, being 2-1 down against Infused.
Absolutely, they're going to be so annoyed. Jimmy says not today though, lads. He's going to shut this advancement down. Flux will clean him up though, so that's going to be a double cap coming out of them. They are all now diving into the basement. This is dangerous. If he gets, oh my god, he does. He actually gets that. Fair enough, he's been a nuisance, but I'd be looking them to be super, super aggressive over on the nest. However, they can't get out because Moz is already in their spawn, been really annoying. Unfortunately, because of what Moz did there, he at least stopped them from advancing into nest. So it's a great play by Moz. Be a real nuisance on them and just stop them from moving forward. The time is slowly ticking away. But that triple cap, it has done some bloody damn good damage here, you know, to FAB's chance of winning this.
It really has. It put them so far ahead. But when FAB do get set up, that's when they're at their strongest. Well, that's when they're comfortable, when they can just take control of a game, but they just haven't been able to get into that situation whatsoever. You can see several members of Infused, they are trying to just get control of this basement, but FAB have pushed out and got BR base. But I think Infused will be fine with that. They said, look, you can have BR base, that forces you back to a horrible spawn. We've got basement and nest.
Great positioning there out of Batchford. We speak about it so much. That white corner, that white hallway, such a great anchor spot because you can essentially anchor all 3 strongholds. We saw 2 Foxy there trying to overextend for the basement to try and, you know, contest or defend. And Batchford said, you know what, I'm going to drop down, I'm going to beat you down in the back. And guess what? Now we're scoring.
The pressure is being applied here to FABI. They need to make something happen. They need to break their spirit. Jimmy's caught off guard. Storm Rifle comes in. Killing spree again for Batchy. We've Cole double as well, who'll quite easily clean up that kill. And now they can push and advance for the triple. Look at Ness. So this will be a massive kill if he can get him and bounce it off the floor. He's going to be allowed to get it though. That is a big, big capture coming out of Moz.
It is, but look, BR base is being taken as well. Infused still do have control of basement. You see basement is starting to be taken by FAB, but now Infused can swarm. They know exactly where FAB going to be. They can just enclose around them. But there are a couple of nuisance players from FAB just hovering around that BR base. Batchford misses that railgun, which would have been really important.
Yeah, a little bit questionable. I would have thought he would have died from that one. Unfortunately, he doesn't. And now it's a little bit messy. He jumps out just at the last second. They're all pushing onto this basement. And now the 2-plot will come back into the hands of FAB. They're dying. They're dropping left, right, and center. 2 kills coming off. And now we see Kimbo. He needs some support. We got Doodle closing up on Whitehall. At least he'll stop that advancement. Respectful's around the corner. He dives in. We talk about these one-on-ones. And right there, oh, he's just a little bit too late, but the ball advanced forward. The nest is also being taken. Let's see who that one will drop into the hands of.
Oh, great kill out there, Flux. Really important. Triple cap again. 15 points away from making FAB have their first loss in Pro League. This is a real hard order now for FAB to get back into this game because of the total control, because of the sheer aggression coming out of Infused.
This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. They've still got the triple cap, 93. It's ticking off. Remember, this will be FAB's first loss of the entire Pro League in regular play. Ticking off. There it is, 99. We're moving over. Kimbo says, kiss my ass. They take down FABI.
What an incredible performance from Infused, and well deserved. They've looked phenomenal in this series, and to be honest, FAB just looked second best. And then look at those kills from Batchford. I mean, the boy went off, and the boy deserves that win.
Batchford, 20 kills, most in the game. On the other side, we got 2 Foxy with a rage quit. What is that? Should we call him Tilt Foxy right now? Is that right? Wonder Boy's hilarious.
7 kills, Harry, out of Moz.
Yeah.
7 kills.
7.
And bear in mind, Moz was the most positive player during Pro League before they went into this series. He was plus 63, but he couldn't get any kills on the board against this sheer aggression of Infused during this game type. And we said it before, Flux, we don't give him enough credibility. He is always in that danger zone. He puts himself in those situations so he can get those important kills, get those power reps. Fantastic work.
Yeah, that is crazy. You know, at the start of the series, how I said, oh yeah, I think FABI could easily take like some top 8 American teams. I think I might have to eat my words after what I've just seen, because that was abysmal. Infused made them look like little kids in matchmaking right there.
I don't know. What? I mean, what do you say? what do you do? They've just that's
all
team
praise
Infused.
Doodle, the greatest European Halo player to ever have lived.
What a way, right? Okay, so a couple of things just we need to look at. One, Doodle's first on-screen Pro League of fall. He takes down FAB.
It's not bad.
Kimbo just takes down his old teammates that dropped him 1 hour before a roster lock.
Awkward.
They booted him off the team, and now he's just beat them.
Yeah.
I mean,
what does this do with Pulse winning earlier on? What does this do to the board?
I don't think we can really stress this enough. I mean, FAB didn't drop a series throughout the whole of summer season. They hadn't dropped a series so far. This is the first series they have lost in about, what, 6 months or something crazy?
Yeah, I've been.
I'm dumb.
I've been updating the league table as we've been going on, and I can tell you now, if Prophecy were to beat VWS in our last series, there would basically only be 3 games difference between top of the league and bottom of the league. That's crazy, and we still have what, like 5 more games to come in this season. That's ridiculous. That's insane.
What do you do? This whole Pro League just got insanely exciting, and honestly, it's completely night and day. I mean, that matchup there was night and day to what we saw at the start of it. Things just went wrong, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be going away at FAB and saying, "What do we need to do? We can't let that happen again." And the biggest thing is now Infused has done that. One, that gives them confidence, big confidence that they have just beaten the European God Squad. 2, this also gives a little bit of, hope for other teams looking onwards, especially ones that have beat Infused.
It definitely does. I mean, the unbeatable just got beaten, and it's what it does to that FAB squad, more importantly. Do they start questioning themselves? They just push it aside and say, it's an online game, it happens, some things didn't go our way. If they can just take it like that and move forward and forget it, great, they will probably still win this whole thing. I think they're such a fantastic squad. But if they start to point fingers and have those questions about themselves, watch over the VODs a little bit too much, that could be detrimental to this team.
All right then, guys. Well, this is European Halo at its finest. This is what we want to see. This is Halo Esports. We get excited and we live for this. The whole fall season of Europe just got a little bit more exciting. And most importantly, it's put even more pressure on this next matchup, because if Prophecy take down VWS, the whole league table is just going to implode on itself. And honestly, from what we've just seen there out of Infused, Kimbo taking down his old teammates that booted him from a roster. I'm so hyped, man. I'm so ready.
Do you want to hear something really interesting with that?
We're about to throw it to a break, but you know what? Let's hear it.
With that win from Infused, they've just gone from 4th in the league to joint 2nd with Vibe.
Well, there you have it. Let's see what happens in our next matchup. We're going to take a very quick 5-minute break, guys. Remember, tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. Our final series of the evening is coming up in 5 minutes' time. Do not go anywhere.